Yesterday, I released a video titled, Why You Need to Start Ignoring People More. And I want to take some time to further elaborate on that with brevity. Fellas, these are signs or occurrences that will take place when a man is getting ready to upgrade his identity. When you are getting ready or going through the process of upgrading your identity, you need to pay very close attention to the serendipitous events that are happening around your life, meaning the things that are just magically happening out of nowhere. I don't believe in coincidence. The reason why I said you have to start ignoring people more is because as a man, right, whatever it is you want at the timing of you watching this video, typically we want to grow our businesses. We want to scale. We want better relationships, intimacy-wise, as well as friendships, brotherhood, networking. You want to support your family. You want to take care of your parents. You want to be adored. You want to have impact. You want to be deeply fulfilled. You want to, have a mission that is meaningful to you, whatever that looks like for you. For me, that's personally philanthropy. That's always been one of my highest goals. But whatever it is that you want, that is going to require a identity upgrade. And so as you are taking the necessary actions daily and putting in the daily deposits so that you can meet that version of yourself that has accomplished those things. And what I mean by that is, a part of me likes to galvanize. I like to curse you guys out. I like to tell you guys how it is. And I like to be very direct because I'm a very gritty motherfucker. And I've had to work for everything. And a part of me loves the struggle. A part of me loves the fight. I do. However, the enlightened version of me also knows that the truth is, though I would like to say that some men or most men just don't got it, most men just don't got or just don't have what it takes to quote unquote make it, the truth is every man has what it takes. And what I mean by that is if you have the desire to be a bigger version than you are now, a better version, a man that is esteemed, a man that is achieved, a man that is in grandeur, it's because there's a part of you that has already achieved that. Now what we have to do is bridge the gap between the discrepancy of where you currently are at and where you want to be. And what that looks like is an identity upgrade. For example, the man that I am today, hosting international masterminds, right? Serving my clients, helping them transform themselves so that they can scale their businesses, have better relationships, right? Networking, all of the things that I do today in present time, I once used to visualize 6-7 years ago when I couldn't articulate myself well, had the stutter, was poor, fragmented identity, insecure, all of these things. But now what I'm doing is who I saw myself as. And I have a version of myself 5 years from now that I need to upgrade to get there. And things that will happen when you are upgrading looks like this. People want your time and attention like none other. People will just start texting you somehow, calling you, people who you haven't spoken to in a while, right? People will just be gravitating towards you because your frequency is rising, okay? Now we're getting into energetics. And what this looks like, oftentimes for men, what do we struggle with the most? Obviously the flesh, right? I've been very candid and transparent from the time I've started this channel and told you guys. I used to be a womanizer. I've never had the vice of drugs or alcohol or anything like that. My vice was always sex, and it was always women. I loved and still do love women. Now, we can get into why that was later or in another video, but long story short, I had a severed relationship with my mother, so I used to seek external validation through women. And as an athlete, I was running through women, and it wasn't until I had to upgrade my identity and go back to the root cause of where that trauma was from my mom, me feeling abandoned and her sending me to go live in different houses, right, of sisters and whatever, of men that she was dating, I sought that love that my mother didn't give me in multiple women. And so I had to go back and clean out that trauma and upgrade my identity. And then I started to finally attract better quality women, but I still wasn't ready to receive that type of love. So I have fucked up relationships with good women before. So that's one thing that's going to happen is people will want your time and attention, right? And oftentimes when you're about to upgrade your identity, the universe will send you tests, right? For you to confirm and reaffirm that you are truly aligned with the man that you say that you are. And I was talking about this on a coaching call yesterday with my gentleman in Modern Day Renaissance Men about how oftentimes an opportunity will present itself and it'll look enticing. It might be a good chunk of money, whatever that looks like for you, whether that's 5,000, 15,000, 20,000, whatever. And it might look enticing, but what will it require of you? And is it aligned with the vision that you set out for yourself and the man that you know that you have to be? One of the hardest things, and I still struggle with this sometimes too, is taking the action based off of the best version and identity of yourself. That shit is not easy because we live in the present, but we're tapping into a future version of ourselves. Like it's a very tough process to do every single time.
Yeah. And I think that's what I'm going through right now. Like in the present, I'm like, okay, I can make 20K this month, but the best version of me is making $1 million a month. I'm not going to make $1 million a month being a fucking freelancer. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not going to work. So I have to learn how to scale the business to that point. And so I'm like, all right, well, I gotta really ask myself if I am making $1 million a month, what systems am I gonna have in place? I'm not gonna take a freelance job. I'm gonna send somebody else to go take that freelance job that somebody's paying my company for. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that kind of thing. And what happens oftentimes is in this pivotal crossroads, so to speak, we go with this path to collect, in this example, that easy money or to get access to this easy woman or to hang out with friends that you know that won't serve you or a situation that won't serve you, as opposed to fully rooting down, bunkering down, and moving in alignment with the identity that you know deep down you desire to exude and embody. And so, as I said in the previous video, you'll get stuck in a flywheel of repeating the same cycles, and life will present that same test to you maybe a year down the road, maybe 2 or maybe 5. And it's up to us as men to have this diligence to be able to recognize, oh shit, this is a test that I failed 15 months ago. Now I have an opportunity to really upgrade my identity and pass this test. And when you upgrade your identity, you now start to cement it with the daily actions that you take. And now confidence goes up by proxy. But when you fail these tests, or when you self-sabotage, or when you do whatever to, not be aligned with that identity, confidence goes down. So now we start to talk about this quiet confidence and how a man has this presence, this magnetic presence. Well, this is all just energetics, fellas. Okay? And so oftentimes as you're upgrading and as you're moving through the confines of your mind and getting ready to upgrade your identity, life will present you with this test. And many times it is a woman. It is old friends. It is somebody that knows you from your past version of yourself, and they know how to trigger your paradigm or your emotional traumas. And these are topics that are not spoken about enough amongst us men because they're taboo or they're overseen or for whatever reason. Well, this is why I love talking to you guys about this, because this is the deep work that I had to do and still do in order to keep progressing in my life. I'm telling you this as a man who used to be extremely insecure and who used to be fragmented. And what really helped me, fellas, overcome myself was the fact that I was fragmented. I had to look at what other areas in my life
was I also fragmented. I had a limiting belief around money, right? There was a good period of my life where I could never make over 5 grand. And I was like, what in the actual fuck, right? Where am I fragmented? Well, I had these limiting beliefs. And then I couldn't get past 10 grand. And then I was stuck at 15 grand for a minute. And then I was stuck at 20. And each time I've had to ask myself, in what ways am I fragmented? And go in and do the work. And I had a conversation about this with a friend of mine last week. And the truth is, if you are in the service industry, business, or just if you offer anything, if you notice inconsistencies in your business, if you notice inconsistencies in the intimacy sector of your life and in your relationships or what have you, it's because somewhere internally as a man, there is an inconsistency. Because this reality, your reality, is a reflection of your internal state. Okay. And so if we're talking about finances, if you notice that you're always struggling or that you can't get past a certain number, that you can't get past 20K, that you can't get past 500K, whatever that looks like for you, there's somewhere inside of you that you have not detached and gotten out of your own way to create a void, to create a space in order for that new identity to settle in. And so what I mean by that is this, right? Let me turn off my phone because I'm getting text like crazy. What I mean by this is we oftentimes don't understand the concept of a void in our lives. So when I say that you have to ignore people, you have to be comfortable sitting in silence, fellas. Every time that I've reached a new level, I had to sit in solitude for a bit and just allow new blessings to come to me. You see, a baby needs an empty womb to grow in. The same way, you need to create energetic space and remove clutter in order for you to be able to move into this new version of yourself while taking the daily actions and putting in the daily deposits. And if you're distracting yourself with multiple women that don't serve you, or a woman that doesn't serve you, or a friend, or friends, or vices, or even self-sabotaging, and not doing the things that you know that you need to do in order to upgrade your identity, you are now, by definition, a fraud. I was talking with a client yesterday on a call, and he said, Dud, I'm taking all of the actions for the business. That's on lock. Fitness is on lock. But I'm not doing my meditations, and I feel my identity starting to slip. And I said, brother, look, this coaching call here is an hour and a half. You're going to stay here for the whole hour and a half. But you mean to tell me you can't take 10 to 15 minutes to visualize, to meditate, and to recalibrate your mind? We have to be real honest with ourselves as men. And if you can't take these small congruent actions towards the life and the man that you say that you want to be, it means that by definition, you say you want to be a certain caliber of a man, but your actions don't align. So this is a lie. You are a liar, and you're not keeping your word to yourself. By definition, you are a fraud. And what happens when you are a fraud? Your confidence goes down. So now you guys understand why so many people, even if they start to get some success or see some wins, they can't sustain it if they're self-sabotaging, if they're not congruent, if they're not aligned. You have to accept the renaissance, the process of rebirthing. And this requires you to be maniacally aligned. It requires you to ignore people, clear space, invite void in your life, invite tranquility and quiet in your life, and not get distracted, and recognize that every time you're on the brinks of upgrading and reaching the new level, the next level of your life, you'll notice these things start to happen. People trying to pull you back, situations trying to pull you back. Your own mind will defy you. And you'll start to hear thoughts of, you can't do this, you can't do that, right? You'll get nervous. The old paradigm will try to leech and drag you back down. What are you doing, Dud? You're just a poor Haitian kid. You're just that kid with the stutter. You're just that kid with this. You're just that. Nobody has done what you're doing. Who do you think you are? Whatever that negative self-talk looks like for you, you're going to hear these thoughts, and it's up to you to override your own mind through these mental exercises and be able to have dominion over your mind. And once you as a man can become sovereign in that regard to where you can control your own mind, now you have been or have earned the right to be appointed as a leader as you upgrade your own identity. And so now when you lead your woman, things are going to be way more aligned, because if you hadn't done this work and if you don't do this work, how is your woman, your wife, your girlfriend going to be able to look up to you and trust you? Because a woman appoints a man as a leader. She's not just going to say that you're a leader because you have a dick and balls. No, you have to prove that. How are your children going to trust their father? So this runs so much deeper than just the surface level. This is about you maximizing and being everything that you know that you can be as a man deep down. So this is serious spiritual, psychological, metaphysical work, fellas. And it took me a while to understand this, as I was my own guinea pig before I started coaching men from all over the world, helping them with these same exact issues. These are some signs that you are about to upgrade your identity. When do you notice these things? Guard your energy, fellas. Guard your mind. Guard your time. You don't have to open yourself up or reply to everybody. You don't have to lay down with just any women. In this male self-improvement space, you have all these different narratives, all these different creators, all these different people saying so many different philosophies and sharing opinions and points of views. Be very careful who you listen to and who you watch, because those messages are conditioning your mind. You know the kind of life that you want to live. And deep down, you already know the necessary actions that you have to take. Each time that you take a contrary action to the ones that you know that you have to, your confidence is lowering and you're fragmenting yourself as a man. So you can keep fooling yourself by watching my videos or watching podcasts. You can buy every self-help book in the world. You can even hire a mentor and pay thousands of dollars. But until in those intimate, intricate moments of privacy, you decide to take the aligned actions towards the man that deep down you know and who you say you want to be. Until you do that, you'll be wasting your fucking time. The relationships that you make in this brotherhood go far beyond virtual Zoom calls. They're for life. The gentlemen in our inner circle span across all continents. We're here to challenge you, call you out on your bullshit, but also support you and celebrate with you. Nothing is off limits here. We talk about things that most men will never voice out loud, and that's where real transformation happens. This is Modern Day Renaissance Men. Not just a program, not just virtual Zoom calls, but a private brotherhood for men who already have wins underneath their belt, but want to step into deeper self-mastery. It's a place where accomplished men go who want to grow in every dimension and facet of life while being surrounded by men who are going to hold you to a higher standard. Not every man gets an invitation, but those who do, transform forever. If you're truly ready to sharpen every edge, become a complete version of yourself, and step into a brotherhood that'll challenge you at the highest level, and to ultimately leave a legacy that most men only talk about, this is your personal invitation. Book a call below, apply, and let's see if you're a good fit.
I commit to mastering every facet of myself, living in the full spectrum of emotions, and serving from my authenticity. I am a noble, I am that I am a warrior, I am everything that I say that I am free.
Peace to the Renaissance, man.